Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the identification tests of cations and anions as per Indian Pharmacopoeia. Our discussion is divided in two parts. In first part we will discuss about the cations and in second part we will discuss about the anions. If we look upon the cations, there are number of cations that are mentioned in Indian Pharmacopoeia, but as per our convenience, I have included 12 cations in my discussion, namely aluminium, ammonium, barium, calcium, ferrous and ferric, lead, magnesium, potassium, silver, sodium and zinc. Very first cation to be discussed is the aluminium. In this test, what we did, we dissolve 20 milligram of the substance under examination in 2 ml of the water. After that, we add 0.5 ml of 2 molar hydrochloric acid and 0.5 ml of the thioacetamide reagent. Addition of these two reagents does not produce any precipitate, but as soon as we add 2 molar sodium hydroxide dropwise, it produces gelatinous white precipitate. Now, this precipitate redissolves on addition of 2 molar sodium hydroxide, and gradually if we add ammonium chloride solution, the gelatinous precipitate reappears. In next slide, we will see the reactions that are involved in this test. Here we can see sodium hydroxide is first of all is getting dissociated into sodium cation and hydroxyl anion. This hydroxyl anion is reacting with aluminum cation to give the precipitate of aluminum hydroxide. Now this aluminum hydroxide in excess of sodium hydroxide means in excess of the hydroxyl ion gives soluble tetrahydroxy aluminate ion. So that is the reason if we add excess of the sodium hydroxide, the precipitate redissolves. Now as soon as we are adding ammonium ion, in the presence of this ammonium ion, gelatinous white precipitate reappears. Why it is happening? Because it is producing a reaction in the reverse direction. Here is one more test for aluminum cation. In this test, we dissolve 20 milligram of the substance under examination in 5 ml of the water. It is followed by addition of 5 drops of ammonium acetate solution. Later to it, 5 drops of 0.1% weight by volume solution of mordant blue third is added. It produces intense purple color. Here is one more test for aluminum cation. In this test, like the previous test, we dissolve our test substance in water and dilute ammonia solution is added until a faint precipitate is produced. So my dear students, here remember we have to add dilute ammonia solution until we get the faint precipitate. After that, 0.25 ml of freshly prepared solution of quinazelidine is added, and this solution of quinazelidine is prepared in the solution of sodium hydroxide. This mixture is heated to boiling, cool, and acidified with the excess of the acetic acid. It gives reddish violet color. Now see what reactions are taking place in this test. Here we can easily observe that aluminum cation is reacting with ammonia to give aluminum hydroxide. That is the precipitate of aluminum hydroxide. This aluminum hydroxide make a complex with quinazelidine in presence of sodium hydroxide, and the color of this complex is the reddish violet. This is the structure of complex of quinazelidine with aluminium. Next cation is ammonium. To test ammonium cation, a small amount of the substance is treated with sodium hydroxide solution. This treatment of sodium hydroxide with the substance produces the ammonia. Now the question is how to identify this ammonia. Ammonia can be easily recognized by its odor. We can easily identify ammonia with its odor. Simultaneously, we can also identify ammonia by its action on the red litmus paper, because it is the property of the bases that turn red litmus paper into blue. So here, with the help of its odor and its action on the litmus paper, we can identify the ammonia. In this test of ammonium salt, we add 0.2 gram of the light magnesium oxide to the solution under test. Now, in next step, just pass a current of air through the mixture. As we pass the gas, it also evolves some amount of the gas. This evolved gas is passed through the mixture of 1 ml of 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid and containing 0.05 ml of methyl red solution. How to pass this gas? This evolved gas is passed just beneath the surface of the mixture. As soon as this gas passes, the color of solution changes to yellow. If we add 1 ml of freshly prepared sodium cobalti nitrite, remember sodium cobalti nitrite, in how much strength? 10% weight by volume. it produces a yellow precipitate. We can see the reaction. Ammonium cation is reacting with sodium cobalt nitrate and replacing sodium, and ammonia is getting replaced here. It is giving, now it is ammonium cobalt nitrite. It is ammonium cobalt nitrite and it gives the yellow precipitate. Next cation is the barium. Here I am mentioning two tests for the barium. In first test, barium salt or any other salt in which we are aimed to identify the presence or absence of barium is subjected to the non-luminous flame. It imparts yellowish green color to this non-luminous flame. And if we see this flame through a green glass, this flame appears of blue color. So this is the first test how we can identify the barium salt. Secondly, we dissolve 20 mg of the substance under examination in 5 ml of the dilute hydrochloric acid, followed by addition of 2 ml of the dilute sulfuric acid. It produces a white precipitate that is insoluble in nitric acid. Here we can see barium is reacting with sulfate ion to give the white precipitate of the barium sulfate. In identification test for calcium, we dissolve, like our previous test, 20 mg of the substance in 5 ml of 5 molar acetic acid. Now, to it add 0.5 ml of potassium ferrocyanide. The solution remains clear. We can observe the same thing in the reaction. Calcium chloride we are taking as a sample. We are treating it with the potassium ferrocyanide. The complex that is being formed is soluble. Now to the solution, if we add 50 mg of the ammonium chloride, it gives a white crystalline precipitate. It gives a white crystalline precipitate. Why it is? We can see this calcium ferrocyanide after reacting with ammonium chloride giving the complex that is insoluble in nature and of a white color. In another test for calcium, we prepared 0.4% solution of substance in water and we take its 5 ml. Now to the solution, we add 0.2 ml of 2% weight by volume solution of ammonium oxalate. It produces a white precipitate of the calcium oxalate. Here we can see it produces the white precipitate of the calcium oxalate. This precipitate is sparingly soluble in dilute acetic acid, but it is soluble in the HCl. As soon as we add HCl, it converted into calcium chloride and oxalic acid, and both are soluble. In this test for calcium, we dissolve 20 mg of the substance in minimum quantity of the dilute hydrochloric acid. The solution is neutralized with dilute sodium hydroxide solution. Followed to it, we add 5 ml of ammonium carbonate solution. It gives white precipitate. See, calcium ion is reacting with ammonium carbonate and it is forming the white precipitate of the calcium carbonate. Our next ion is iron. As we know, iron exists in two ionic forms. One is ferrous and another is ferric. So we will discuss both of them and we will try to understand how we can distinguish between ferrous and ferric form of the iron. So for first time I am telling you this test for ferrous salt. In this, we dissolve our sample in 2 ml of the water. Here the point to be remembered is the concentration of the iron should not be less than 10 milligram. We add 2 ml of the dilute sulfuric acid followed by 1 ml of the 0.1% weight by volume solution of 1,10-phenanthrolene. It gives intense red color. Here we can see the structure of the complex by which it is imparting intense red color. This red color is discharged by the addition of 0.1 molar steric ammonium sulfate. Why? Because it oxidizes ferrous into the ferric. So that's why this intense red color discharge. In another test for ferrous ion, we dissolve our sample in 1 ml of the distilled water and the quantity of the iron should not be less than 1 milligram. To it, add 1 ml of the potassium ferricyanide. It produces a dark blue precipitate. See, ferrous sulfate, we are having potassium ferricyanide. It is giving ferrous ferricyanide. It is giving ferrous ferricyanide and it is having the dark blue color. This precipitate is insoluble in dilute hydrochloric acid and is decomposed by sodium hydroxide solution. Mind it, this test is also used to distinguish between ferrous and ferric. So here combination is that we are identifying ferrous and we are using ferric. So this is ferrous ferric. That's why we are getting this dark blue color. In this test for ferrous ion, we are using potassium ferrocyanide. In previous test, we have used potassium ferricyanide. It gives a white precipitate. So here we can easily observe that it is in blue color, but if we are using this ferrocyanide, we are getting the white precipitate. But this white precipitate also rapidly changes into blue. But the tone of this blue color is entirely different. In ferricyanide, we are getting the dark blue color. Here, we are getting the Persian blue color. Now, question arises why this white precipitate is getting again changing into blue. It is due to the oxidation. Ferrous ion is getting oxidized into ferric ion, and this precipitate is insoluble in dilute hydrochloric acid. In this test, we are trying to identify the ferric. This is the ferric. Now see, what we are doing, we are simply adding the potassium ferrocyanide and the test to identify ferric. So combination of ferrous and ferric, again it is giving the blue precipitate, which is insoluble in dilute hydrochloric acid. So remember, if we are testing for ferrous and we are adding ferric, so we will get blue color. And if we are testing for ferric and we are adding ferrocyanide, again we are getting the blue color. Now if we try to add potassium ferricyanide to the ferric salt, it does not give the blue color, rather it gives the brown coloration. So my dear students, we have to recall that if we have to identify ferrous salt, so we have to add ferricyanide, and if we have to identify ferric salt, we have to add ferrocyanide. In both the cases, we will get the blue color. So thank you. In next part, we will discuss about the remaining cations. Thank you very much.